Okay, well, if I'm good to get
Oh,
started, Justin, I will. Can you
yeah,
hear me
hold
now?
on one second. Thanks. Yeah, just a couple of comments. Thank you, everybody, for jumping on. We got a number of updates for you today, but very grateful to have our friends from Baker College of Owasso join us this morning. I know many of you obviously know Baker. Many of you have worked with Baker, but I think I really want to make sure everyone understands what an extremely positive asset they are for our community. Not only in terms of the great education and training they provide, but the major economic impact that they have brought us over the last, it's now been 30, well, I'll let them tell, but I think it's been 35, 36 years now. So just been a wonderful asset for our community, and wanted to have Greg and Tony from Baker on today to give you an update on certainly what's going on with the college. There's some exciting things happening, but also, if you're working with them, great, but maybe you can expand upon that. But if you've not worked with the college for internships or hiring or training, definitely something you want to take a look at, and you're going to get a chance to learn more about that today. So with that, Greg, Tony, I will turn it over to you guys now, and feel free to jump on in.
Well, thank you so much, Justin, for having us this morning. My name is Tony Vukovic. I'm the Baker College System Director for Career Services and New Business Development. And I think most of you probably know Greg. Greg is our Employer Relations Specialist in our Central Michigan region, working out of the Owasso campus. So this is really just a terrific time for us to come in and provide updates. We have a lot happening at the college, and certainly, as Justin mentioned, the relationship that Baker College has with our community, particularly in the Shiawassee County area, has really given us strength. And as I talk through some of these changes, I think you'll see, how that has impacted us and some of the decisions that have been made on an overall system level. And so probably you might be aware that we are going through a consolidation, and that we are going to be merging campuses across the state as we sort of look at realigning our physical footprint. And so in the Metro Detroit region, the Allen Park and Clinton Township campuses are being absorbed into our Auburn Hills location to create one large Metro Detroit area location. We still have our Jackson campus, our Muskegon campus, and our Cadillac campus. And then locally, our Flint campus and our Owasso campus are merging, which will be housed at our Owasso location. So not only is the Owasso location remaining as is, it's actually growing and expanding, which is tremendously exciting for us, and we hope for you as well. So when we look at what that means in the short term for the Owasso area campus, the first thing is that our program portfolio is actually expanding. And so with this merger, the Owasso campus is adding a cardiac sonography program, physical therapy assistant program, a surgical technology program, and a veterinary technology program in our health sciences area. So we are going to be the central imaging center from a health sciences perspective for all of our campuses, and that will all be physically housed on the Owasso campus. Additionally, our cyber defense program, which is truly nationally competitive. That group has existed on our other campuses and has competed nationwide against really some big name schools, and has come out victorious many times. And it's a really cool program, and we're very excited to have that come to Owasso for the 2021 school year. And so with no new programs comes new facilities, and renovations are almost complete on our health science building to expand that imaging lab to accommodate those new programs. And in addition, the area that's going to house our cyber defense lab in that technology building also has received a facelift. That building hasn't been updated since 1995, so it was overdue, and certainly that'll be real state-of-the-art, cutting-edge technology available to our students through our cyber defense lab. So we're tremendously excited about all those new program offerings. That's going to mean obviously new relationships within our community as we look to, serve those students from a work experience and career opportunity perspective. And Greg's going to touch on that more specifically when I wrap up here. So a lot of really cool things coming to the Owasso campus specifically. Really when we look at the institution as a whole, we've undergone quite a few changes over the last 2 or 3 years. As we've transitioned to a primarily 4-year bachelor degree institution. We have increased our entrance standards, and really we have taken that quality versus quantity perspective, and we do that for a lot of reasons. And the main one is that we are continuously looking for opportunities for our students to be successful after graduation, and to make sure that we're putting them in a position to really, our mission is to put them through successful, challenging, rewarding careers, and that hasn't changed. And so as we did an evaluation of the landscape, it was clear to us that in many program areas, you needed that 4-year education in order to be competitive. And so that has really been the impetus for the transition that we've made to focus specifically and primarily on those 4-year degrees. And so we do offer MBA and BBA through our online campus as well. And so we're just continuously looking at putting our students in the best possible position, and that's really the reason for those changes. And then, like so many other of you on the phone right now, we have been impacted, obviously, by COVID-19. And so we are in the process of getting ready and getting braced to bring students back to campus, but in very limited fashion. And so when we look at the summer, most of our courses we have the functionality to run those virtually and in online settings. And I would say 80 to 85% of our courses can be accommodated that way. However, there are courses that do require on-ground instruction. And so when we look at labs in like our auto diesel area or in some of our health sciences programs, we are looking to bring some students back onto the campus during the summer to participate in those labs. The plan is to host fall courses. And so when we look at our COVID-19 fall planning, we hope to provide in-person instruction for fall. We're exploring several options to ensure that we can safely bring our students back to campus. And like so many of you, we're working to monitor the requirements and guidance provided by the governor's office, the CDC, local health departments. And, quite honestly, we're in a better position to do this maybe than some of the larger institutions because our class sizes are already, in the 20 to 25 range historically. So that's a decision that we've always made because that's important to us to offer more personal instruction. So obviously it's a lot easier to social distance with 15 to 20 to 25 people in a classroom than it is and maybe in some of these larger institutions with lecture halls of 250 to 350 people. And so we have a pandemic response team within our system that's working diligently to make sure that safety is the priority. And so we will continue to take those steps, but we're optimistic about what we can provide for the summer and fall. So I'm going to stay on the line and certainly we'll be happy to answer any questions. But for now, I wanted to throw it to Greg Klapko, and Greg can talk specifically about ways that employers in our community can get connected with the college and that we can really look to foster those relationships. So Greg, you can take it from here.
Hey, thanks, Tony. That's a great overview. I hope everybody enjoyed that update. The only thing I wanted to add that Tony didn't mention was we're very pleased to be reaccredited by the Higher Learning Commission for 10 more years. So that was a significant achievement by the college, and Dr. Denise Bannon took the lead on that. So we're very pleased to be reaccredited now by the Higher Learning Commission for another 10 years. So that was big news on our campus and our system. And yeah, Justin, you are correct. This is I believe, starting our 36th year, believe it or not, at Baker College of Owasso. So time flies. It's hard to believe I've been with the college for 20. So it's been a long time and an enjoyable run for me. Specifically, this morning, I wanted to talk about, a few things, internships, our graduate hiring, and touch real briefly on the corporate training programs that Troy Napier heads up. On the internship front, as Tony mentioned earlier, we're really focused on quality. And what we mean by quality for the internships is a well-structured internship with very job-specific program-related duties. And of course, we want all these students to have the physical space where they can work. But some of our best internships have really come about from companies that have really taken the time to map out a plan for the intern, provide an orientation, have specific points along the road for the internships where they're gauging progress and making sure that all the work they're doing is meaningful, not only for the company, but for themselves and their career. So I'd be glad to sit down with anyone to discuss an internship program. I've done it with many of you through the years. I'd be glad to, really structure a good program for you. As many of you know, we have a lot of programs in the business administration area, marketing, management. In the IT field, we have plenty of students that are always looking for internships. And also in we have a Bachelor of Health Service Administration, so we kind of touch on that health service area also. And of course, I definitely want to mention our ADI program. We have auto, diesel students, and of course, we added welding a few years back too. So those are just some of the programs that we deal with as far as assisting students to find internships. And I'd be glad to, like I said, to work with any of you on that. A few years back, we joined on board with Handshake. And I've talked to many of you about Handshake in the past, and Handshake is quite a large company now. It's one of those free online jobs boards where you can post positions. There's now, I believe, around 1,000 colleges and universities that utilize Handshake. And I want to give everyone a web address. We'd love to have you join Handshake. And it is Baker, BAKER .join Handshake. That's all one word together. JOIN handshake.com/register. So it's baker.joinhandshake.com/register. You can join Handshake there, and you can post your position with not only Baker College, but many other colleges within Michigan. The University of Michigan, the Michigan State University, just to name a few, are other colleges that belong to Handshake. It's a great way for you to search for students, pull down their resumes. Their students can make their profiles public, so you can reach out to them through Handshake. And feel free to contact me if you have any questions or want some tips on Handshake. I can kind of walk you through that process also. And another way we use Handshake is on a monthly basis. We call it a What's Trending Now. It's really some information we get out to our students on a monthly basis with kind of hot opportunities for internships and, of course, employment opportunities. And I'd be glad to add your company to this What's Trending Now list that we update on a monthly basis. And that's something we can get in front of the students quickly, and something if you're looking to move on rather quickly, we can get that information out to them. List the job opening, the internship opportunity, and of course the name of your company. And what we do is we actually link that to Handshake, where they can click on a link and go right to your posting on Handshake on the What's Trending Now. So I'd be glad to cover that with you at any time. We hope to have some on-campus recruiting opportunities coming in 2021. As Tony mentioned, COVID-19 has curtailed any type of on-campus visits. I really don't anticipate any until probably the beginning of the year for that to happen again. So, that'll be kind of a work in progress or to be determined. Excited to work with some of the new programs. One of them I just wanted to highlight was cyber defense. If everybody's kind of sticking around at 10 o'clock for the webinar, with BitLift. I would strongly encourage you to attend that if you can. In fact, BitLift's a young growing company that's going to be relocating here in Owasso. And we were very pleased at Baker College to place our first IT intern with BitLift. So if you can attend that, that would be great. But we're going to cyber defense. We've got some good young talent coming up in that program along with others, and would be glad to work with you on connecting you with some of our students and grads in that area. And then just briefly, I wanted to touch, it's really not my area, but I wanted to kind of mention our corporate training programs that we do have through Troy Napier. Feel free to contact Troy. His direct line is 989-729-3616. And Troy has worked for Baker College for several years like myself, and many of you know Troy. He's worked very closely with the Going Pro Talent Fund and worked with a lot of training opportunities, grant opportunities for companies. He offers, in a lot of areas in the corporate training, he offers lean manufacturing, Six Sigma he's worked with in the past, machine maintenance, obviously in the healthcare area, auto diesel, welding, just to name a few. He's got a long list, and I know Troy would be glad to work with you. And so feel free to reach out to me or him, and we can get you connected, and we'd be glad to work with you. So with that, I think I covered everything that I wanted to. I don't know if Tony wanted to add anything or fill in any blanks, but otherwise we'll leave it open for questions.
Oh, great. Greg, Tony, thank you for that update. You've been a great partner to us over the years. You've served many local businesses. It's, as I said at the start, it's been a great partnership, and you've done some amazing stuff for this community. I do have a question, but I do want to open it up. So if anybody on the phone has any comments or questions about the college or how you can engage with the college, hit *6 on your phone right now. *6. Anybody have anything?
Hey, Greg, this is Colleen.
Hi, Colleen.
Over at Kojak. I had a question about the internship program. Is there any new requirements because of COVID-19 that changes it? I know we had an intern back in the springtime, and of course everything kind of blew up, and they changed the required hours and everything like that. Going forward, is it back to what it was?
Well, what we did, Colleen, is because of COVID-19, we did have several students that were kind of caught in the middle of it. So we worked with them on a case-by-case basis to get them through that internship. In many cases, many of our students were able to work virtually. And if they weren't, we were able to work out a program with them academically so they could finish out the internship. And going forward, what we've done this semester, the summer semester, and what we're doing for fall semester is offering an online option for the students to complete their internship, because obviously some of them were unable to be placed with an employer because of COVID-19. So it's really been a case-by-case, employer-by-employer basis that we've been working with the students.
Okay. As an employer, do we have to have more things in place in order to qualify with an intern?
Well, as far as the requirement of hours, our letter of understanding, which is kind of a bullet point by bullet point responsibility for the employer, the student, and the college, none of that has changed. However, in the world of COVID-19, we would just ask that really in all cases you would treat an intern just like you would any of your other employees.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks,
Greg,
Colleen.
this is Barry Paxton. How are you?
Other comments or questions from anybody?
Greg, can you hear me? This is Barry Paxton.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, Barry.
Yeah, hi, Barry.
Okay, good morning. Quick question. You had mentioned the GoPro fund, and I know with everything going on that was tentatively put on hold. Do you have any updates on there, or would Chris Schuler be the person over at Michigan Works we'd want to talk with about current status of that and if anything's been moving along?
Yeah, you definitely want to talk to Chris, or feel free to reach out to Troy Napier at the college.
Yep.
Troy's been our contact for that Going Pro talent fund. You know Troy, don't you, Barry?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yep. Okay. No, I'll
Yeah.
shoot him a message today and copy Greg as well, or Chris as well.
Yeah. Those would be your two good contacts for that Going Pro fund.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good question. And I don't know. I don't know if anybody else on the call knows. Unfortunately, I don't think it got funded due to the budget situation at the state level. I'm not 100% sure of that, and I hope I'm wrong. But I think that may have been what happened with Going Pro. So if anyone on the call has any updates, actually Chris Schuler is on the call pretty regularly. I don't know if he's on or not, but that was my understanding. But anyway, other comments or questions from anybody for Greg or Tony? Well, I wanted to jump in and ask one. Actually, Colleen kind of covered it a little bit here. So the issue of being able to have that sort of in-person opportunity. There are jobs obviously out there that are doable by remote work. I'm doing it still right here from my kitchen counter with my phone and my laptop. But obviously, we work with a number of employers that are not able to do that, particularly in the industrial world. So, maybe that, potential welder or, diesel mechanic or something like that. Are they still going to be permitted if a company wants to bring them in physically and work at the site? Is that still going to be allowable to do that?
Yes, Justin,
Hey, Justin.
they will.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah, I just wanted to jump in. Yeah, we absolutely would allow a student to perform on-site work. When a student gets set up on their work experience, we have a letter of understanding with that employer that basically just lays out that they need to provide a safe working environment. So really that language just remains, and certainly, that would be the expectation that, if they're not putting them at risk of anything like that. But we have a number of students that use their current employer to do their work experience as well. And so we're allowing that to continue to earn their work experience credit. But yes, we would allow a student to complete a physical on-site work experience. But, also virtual and remote options exist, and we're embracing those as much as possible during this time.
Okay. And just I don't want to get too far in the weeds here. I know every company on the phone has their own individual situation, but is it 120 hours? Is that still the number as far as time for the interns?
Yes, and that's on a program-by-program basis based on their accreditation standards. But when we look at for business and IT programs, which is maybe the predominant driver for that, yes, it does fall into that area.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and that's why I say it's a custom thing, company by company, program by program. There's been, obviously you guys have worked with a lot of companies in the area. I would encourage everybody to talk to Greg, talk to Baker if you want to institute or even thinking about instituting an internship program. Talk with them. Obviously we've been challenged with the virus in terms of there's a lot of challenges, but the talent pool obviously shifted in terms of employment. A lot of folks went on unemployment, but people are going back to work now, and talent is quickly going to become a big factor again. And once again, having a college here that provides great training, great skills and education is a huge benefit to have that available labor pool locally. And if you have talent needs now, if you have talent needs in the future, get with our friends at Baker. I know they're very willing to work with anyone and everyone to build a program, a customized program that can meet your needs. So, any other comments or questions from anybody for Greg or Tony? Okay. Go ahead. Did I hear somebody?
Yeah, it's Rich Doherty.
Oh, go ahead,
River
Rich.
Lab
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
Welding.
Yeah.
Greg, is your contact information still the same?
Yes, it is Greg, G-R-E-G dot, and then it's Klapko, K-L-A-P-K-O at baker.edu.
Yep, that's what I've had. So good. I'm interested both in the internships and using Handshake again. So, all right.
Great.
Thank you for being in touch.
Be glad to walk you through that, Rich.
Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Rich. Anyone else have anything for Greg or Tony? Hit *6 on your phone. Okay, well, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for the partnership. As we wrap up here with you, can you just give again your contact information or best way to reach you?
Sure. I just gave my email address. My direct line I'll give to everybody is 989-729-3323.
Yes, and for me, it's 989-729-3611.
Okay. Any final comments or questions for Tony or Greg? All right. Well, guys, thank you for joining us today. Thanks for the collaboration. And once again, any companies on the phone, if you have any type of talent needs, get with these guys. Huge asset to have here in the community. So thanks again, guys. Appreciate your time. A couple of other items I want to hit today. Our next call, we're going to have our friends from Klein and Griffin on the phone. They've been a great partner for us on these calls over the last few months. Jose and Nancy from CCG providing lots of good input on unemployment situations, labor situations, hiring, laying off, all that stuff. But we're going to have them on our program next Tuesday to give you some additional updates on those labor law issues as it relates to getting back up and running now. So definitely going to want to make time for that. If anyone has any specific legal questions that you might want to make sure get asked, certainly join the call. But if you're not able to, send me an email and I can pass those along. Good news out of the county government last night. We began the process of approving a PACE financing district for Shiawassee County. So you've heard us mention this on the call a few times recently. PACE financing is a way for you to make energy efficiency improvements to your facility. It could be an acquisition, it could be a rehab, it could be new construction, it could be heating, cooling, roofs, windows, really anything that could help the overall energy situation. And what it does, essentially, it allows you to finance your work with a property tax assessment. So it gets sort of a special assessment that gets added to your property tax bill. It's not a grant, it is financing, but it's got some potential benefits that may make it a good option to consider. So in order to do that, Shiawassee County has to be included in this district. So thankfully, our Board of Commissioners, who are very pro-business, pro-economic development, they approved the first step in the process last night. We will have a public hearing on that district in July, and then hopefully after that, we'll get everything approved and be able to move ahead. So if any company, it doesn't have to be a company either, it could be other types of organizations, but if you're interested in learning how this tool could help you with those improvements, let us know. Give me a call, shoot me an email. We'll get you plugged in so you can get all the details on that. Another item I wanted to mention, and I don't know if he's on the call today, but been a great partner throughout this process. Tyler DeBray-Bander, Michigan Economic Development Corporation, provided so many resources and services, including grant dollars to businesses here in Shiawassee County during the crisis. Tyler is looking to do a check-in with companies to see how things are going and if there's any additional state resources that you might need to help you through not only getting through the crisis, but also if you're looking at any growth opportunities. So if anyone would like to chat with Tyler about your own personal business situation, let me know. We've got some potential call-in dates. We're not doing the face-to-face yet with that, but call-in dates coming up in the next couple weeks to do that. So if you do, shoot me an email on that, and we'll get you included. Greg mentioned this. In about 27 minutes, we're going to have a cybersecurity webinar that's going to be put on by BitLift. That is our new tech company that will be locating actually in downtown Owasso. Their specialty is cybersecurity, and so they're going to be hosting that. I know we got a good turnout planned already. If you've not yet signed up, you can still sign up. There's no cost. I sent out an email earlier this morning with the details of how to do it. It's pretty easy to register. So if you have any questions, concerns about cybersecurity for your business, definitely you want to make some time. It won't be any more than 1 hour. We booked it from 10 to 11. A couple of other items. We did talk about this a little bit the other day. I sent out some information via email on the unemployment fraud question. I've had several companies get a hold of me on this. It's been an issue. Obviously, a lot of people have been filling out forms online trying to get unemployment, so there's been a lot of scammers. Once again, cybersecurity issue. And Jody's been very helpful on this from our team. But we sent you some documents on how to deal with it as a business and also how to deal with it as an individual if it hits you that way. So if anyone has any questions or needs, I do anticipate this is probably going to continue for a while. Please refer to that email and get a hold of us if you have any concerns or questions there. PPP, I was going to say PPE. I'll talk about that in a second. But PPP, we talked the other day as well about this. The new guidelines are out. I'm trying to get a fact sheet on the different changes. Really all good. Basically a lot of flexibility. So if you are on the midst of your PPP loan forgiveness work right now, you're going to want to check that out. You're going to want to talk with your banker on that. If you've not yet applied, there is still money available. So please let us know if you'd like to get in on that. PPE, going back to that now. As you all know, we do have a spreadsheet we put together. It's up to 19 different companies. But I also want to reiterate, there are other resources out there. For example, our friends at Michigan Economic Development Corporation, through their Pure Michigan Business Connect program, they have some resources. The Michigan Chamber of Commerce has put some information together. So has the Small Business Association of Michigan. So I've sent those links out in previous emails, but I wanted to mention it again today because I had a specific request from a local company that needed building sanitizing. So building cleaning, like large building cleaning, not like a house cleaning. So we did have one in our database. Our friends at AKT Peerless does that work. Certainly, if anybody else knows anybody that does large-scale building sanitizing, please let me know. But if we don't have somebody locally that can provide that product or service, we would certainly encourage you to check out any of those other databases. So. And then, along with that, I mention this all the time, testing, always available from our friends at Memorial, antibody and virus testing, and then jobs as well. We always talk about that. Obviously, once again, our friends at Baker, please check out that Handshake website. That's a great resource. So that's all I have for right now. Once again, thanks to our friends at Baker for coming on today and talking about what they have going on. Does anyone have any additional comments or questions? Hit *6 on your phone. Anybody have anything else? Okay, well, thank you, everybody. We will be back next Tuesday with a legal update from Klein, and Griffin. In the meantime, if you need anything, let us know. Thanks.